What's up guys, my name's Mike, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's having a great day. If you guys are new to the channel, I like to do shoe unboxings, tech unboxings, and vlogging. But today, we're going to be talking about the Xbox Series S. So I've had this for a couple of days now, and I think it's time to give you my thoughts and impressions. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, we're going to go over the console itself, starting with the back. On the back, you have an Ethernet, 2 USBs, HDMI, expansion storage, and then the power. Moving to the top, you are greeted with the black ventilation system and engraved Xbox logo. When you head to the front of the system, you are greeted with the power button, 1 USB port, and the controller sync button. And of course, since this is the S, it has no disc tray or anything else because it is all digital. When we move to the bottom, it's just one little section of ventilation, and there's also ventilation coming out of the sides too. So now that we've done the console itself, let's take a quick look at the controller. Starting with the front of the controller, you can tell that not much has changed except for the inclusion of a share button now in the middle between the start and the select button. Now heading to the top of the controller where you see the triggers and bumpers, the nice thing about this is the triggers now have a little bit of grip added onto them, almost like the Elite controller, and you can also spot the USB-C port up top, which is pretty nice, although it does still take AA batteries, but we'll get to that in a second. Now when moving to the back of the controller, you can see where the back door is for the AA batteries, which again I'm not the biggest fan of. But then also if you take a look at the bottom, it's your normal like microphone jack or headset jack. Okay, so now that we've gone over the controller and the console, we're going to be talking about my pros and cons of the system. First pro would be size. Now take a look at this thing. I've got it right beside me. It is small. Microsoft has said it's the most compact system, and I definitely agree. I've never owned something or even a gaming system I think this small in quite a while, except for the Switch of course, but still. This thing is tiny for what it can do, and I do think that's a huge pro. If you want something that's going to fit anywhere you need it to, and actually pretty portable, I could just throw this thing into a bag and take it around with me and I would be set. Second pro would be load times, and man are they fast. Now I didn't realize how fast they were until Hunter was over with his Xbox One X the other day. If you guys want to see a little bit of that, go check out the vlog. I'll try to post that somewhere in the description. And they are crazy fast because we started up his Xbox One X and mine and played Assassin's Creed, and I was in there in like a couple seconds to compare to I think his took like 3 minutes to get completely into the game, and that is insane to me. And again, I didn't really even understand or even notice until we got them side by side how much faster this thing was. Third pro would be the quick resume. It's not the feature that I was most excited about because I don't normally hop between games, or it doesn't bother me to restart and load up games, but so far it's been pretty nice because I've played a little bit of Call of Duty and then jumped over to Assassin's Creed or vice versa, and it's been real easy to just get in and out of games with no issue, super quick, leaves right off where you last left it, and that is pretty nice compared to the other one, which I think like for most of the time I could get in and out of games with not much issues or not much lag. I don't know, maybe I'm completely wrong. And so my last pro would probably be price. This thing's priced at $299, which is pretty much the same price as an Xbox One X, I believe. Maybe right now if you go buy them used. I know they were like $500. And even though it doesn't do the true 4K and all that, I think this is definitely a good system, especially if you're starting out. First Xbox, this would be definitely something when they go in stock again to definitely check out over that, because I'm not regretting trading in the Xbox One X now that I have this. Now again, I am a little bit biased because I do have an Xbox One X hopefully on the way. I ordered one the same night from Microsoft, but that's probably not going to get here for a little while, so this is kind of just a placeholder. But still, right now I'm happy with it, and I think I would have upgraded from the Xbox One X because TV does 4K and everything, but when I've played Assassin's Creed, I've enjoyed playing that, Watch Dogs, and Call of Duty, and I think they look fine on the TV, and even Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs seem to have that smoother look to it on the TV that I have in the background. Now that we've gone over the pros, let's go over the cons. First con would be resolution. Now I know I just said I was fine, and I think it looked fine on my TV playing the system, but I think further down the line it's gonna suffer because it only is supposedly getting up to 1440p, but you do have the option to get 120 frames per second if you have a monitor or TV that supports it. So I think further down the line the 4K is going to be more important because as things are going, TVs are moving into 8K. I think the console, I know the PS5, I think the Xbox One X goes to 8K too. So I think if you're into that resolution, if that bothers you that you're not getting that true 4K, and if you have a system or a TV that supports the 4K, I think that would be an issue down the line, or if you're planning on upgrading to 4K later on. Now, my other con, which I think is the last one, is definitely the biggest and the worst, and that's the storage. I absolutely hate that it is a 512 gigabyte SSD, which is nice. The hard drive itself is nice, but 512 gigabytes is not good because it, after your system software and OS or whatever, you're left with 330 or 360 gigabytes of memory left. So that is almost like nothing. Now you do have the option to expand it, but it's $220. Now I assume later on third parties will make something maybe more affordable, but for right now that's not good, and it's not good enough. I think that's absolutely horrible, especially because it's a diskless version of the system, or it's a diskless system. So you're kind of screwed. Like Call of Duty was like 135 gigs, and that's a huge chunk out of 330. And then Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed were up there within like, I think 50s or 60 gigabytes. And then I installed Forza, and I think that was 80 gigabytes. So these games are getting bigger, so your console's not going to be able to support it, and you just bought this $300 system, and you're going to have to pay almost the same amount just to have some extra storage. So now, whether I think that's a complete deal breaker, maybe not, because you can always just download games, uninstall, download them, just as you get new games. But if you're somebody who wants to keep a good bit of games, or the games that you're playing, if you have multiple ones, it might be a little bit harder to keep some of those blockbuster, like AAA games. Okay, one last little con, which the disc drive, not having the disc drive could be considered a con. And for me, because I still own a bunch of Blu-rays, not all of my movie collection is digital right now. That kind of sucks, but again, the majority of my movies are digital anyway. If I rent or do anything, it's digital, so I don't normally have to worry about putting in discs, but I would like to have one. So that could be considered a con. It's not the biggest deal. All my games are digital right now anyway. I don't think I own a single physical copy of an Xbox game. I own like a couple Switch games or something, but normally I stick to digital. So it's not really a con or a pro for me. It's just kind of in between, and it's subject to how you guys play, what you guys keep and don't keep. Okay, my overall thoughts. I think it's a great system. I've enjoyed playing it so far. Now again, I've only had it for a couple days, so I'm not gonna say it's like the best thing ever. But I personally would prefer, like, I'm looking forward to getting the Xbox Series X because I would rather have the better graphic capabilities, because I think my TV will support them pretty well. Now, if you don't need that, and again, you're not using physical copies or not needing a bunch of space, then I would definitely recommend it over spending the extra $200. So if you guys picked up a Series X or S, let me know in the comments below, or if you haven't, let me know which ones you guys are going for, if the S is more preferable to you, or maybe the X. I don't know. So again, let me know in the comments below which you guys have picked up or want to get, which one you think is better. But I think that's going to do it for me today. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.